Is this some of the Georgia training you had?
I'm hoping the water's gonna work. This thing's light water, and I hope it works today.
It ain't worked yet, so I don't know why you think it's gonna work today.
I thought he was drinking that smart water.
Yeah, I need to get that smart water.
The smart water wasn't helping him.
I don't think I drank enough of it.
I just don't have sherry yet. I don't have sherry yet.
Well, we could just do that when she gets here too, so.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Put it on that candy menu.
Okay.
Would you want to run upstairs and just check on sherry?
On the menu today.
If you want to go ahead and hit your record, because he's going to probably start calling. Thank you.
Okay, y'all ready? All right, this time I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you'd please rise and join us in invocation and the pledge. Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, as we enter this season where we celebrate the birth of your Son, our Savior Jesus, watch over our county and keep everyone safe. Now be with us this morning as we go about our county's business, and watch over the members of our armed forces and their families, no matter where they serve. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Watch those TVs.
No.
Watch the TVs.
Bill, if you join me at the podium, please, sir. We've got a small token we'd like to present to you this morning. This plaque reads, "With our greatest appreciation presented to William C. Herbert II, in recognition of your vision, dedication, and commitment while serving as a member of the Richmond County Board of Supervisors from 2016 to 2023. Your guidance and contributions have shaped our community and paved the way for success."
Thank you very much.
You're certainly welcome.
The pleasure has been mine, and it's been an honor to serve the people of District 3. And I moved here 54 years ago, and wouldn't live anywhere else. Love it here. Thank y'all.
Billy, could we have your family that's here come up for a little photo op?
Sure.
If they don't mind.
Just a little
That's okay. We know you've done it in a year.
Don't worry about your driver.
I know, if you drive up a police car like that.
Drama queen.
You what?
Drama queen.
I'm not a drama queen.
Lee, you want to stay with them?
You want to get up here closer to me? Oh, she's not my friend.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move, if anybody else, move on, if anybody else would like to say anything, roast Billy a little bit.
That's not necessary.
I'd just like to add that, you and Billy's always been very supportive of me, and I appreciate that. I've learned a lot from you. And I just want to make sure that I continue to get the jokes that you send. Billy always makes sure to send jokes to just, share a laugh just when I need it. And so I so appreciate that. So thank you, Billy.
No problem.
I appreciate it. I've known you for the 50 years you've been here, and it's been good. And especially the time working with you on the Board of Supervisors. Appreciate your insight into things and your attention to detail and things like that. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
All right, just say thank you, Billy, for being here with us.
Thank you for the necklace.
From the candy store, what can I say?
If anyone in the audience would like to say anything,
Please
come on, Cliff.
Billy, I'm not gonna say anything,
Thank you.
I got a chance to worry about.
You got your hands full.
I'm worried about driving, can you drive?
Yeah. All right, is she coming?
I believe Sherry is on her way, but if we wanted to go ahead and do the school, maybe.
That's fine. We can go on and start, and we can stop when she gets here.
Okay.
Who you waiting
Huh?
on? Who you waiting on?
Sure.
Share.
Oh, you see it? 'Cause
Yes.
where you want to do this?
I guess just in front of the podium.
JR, if you want to come up, she's going to swear us in for next year. Steve, have you heard this one?
No.
I know it's the same way for everybody, I guess.
Dave, you need to be.
I want to just move in front of the table and then I can have some pictures. Just move in front of the table.
Yes, ma'am.
Take some pictures.
Yes, you got to get sworn today.
Ready?
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge all duties incumbent upon you as, or your jobs, for a term of office commencing on January 1, 2024 and expiring on December 31st, 2027? Now, are y'all the same, are y'all 4 years? Okay. According to the best of your ability. You're good.
Thanks, Jared. That's not the swearing. Excuse me.
You gotta swear still.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sherry and I worked together for 15 years over at Bankville when I was practicing law. Took 2 of those years before I figured out her name was Cheryl and not Sherry. So it's a real pleasure to do this. Sherry, would you raise your right hand? Repeat after me. I, Cheryl B. Pearson,
I, Cheryl B. Pearson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge all the duties incumbent upon me
impartially discharge all the duties incumbent upon me
as the Clerk of the Circuit Court of Richmond County
as the Clerk of the Circuit Court of Richmond County
for a term of office
for a term of office
commencing on January 1st, 2024,
commencing on January 1st, 2024,
and expiring on December 31st, 2031,
and expiring on December 31st, 2031,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
You're done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
One of the reason I came, I told Sherry I was gonna come up here and to say, to make sure Billy was really retiring. Sounds like it's worked out well.
It has, thanks, sir.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank y'all.
Chairman Sanders, board, Mother Smith. Mr. Herbert, thank you for all the years of dedication you've had in Richmond County. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Chuck.
Appreciate it. This clicker going. I also want to thank everybody who were in attendance yesterday in the audience and up at the board here for that beautiful luncheon that they always put on. That is always one of the better days of the whole calendar year. We can all get together and be festive. So it was a busy, once again, another busy month. Flipped through some slides showing some activities throughout the school. One of the things is the Rappahannock High School put together a canned food drive, and with the help of Warsaw Methodist, over 500 cans were delivered, and it's a good time of the year for that. Another Eagle Scout project. This is actually a walkway to the pavilion. In the last few days, they've made a lot of progress. So congratulations to James Hall, who's also a member of the Troop 333. As we came up with projects and ideas, there's, made a little gateway to the school to have a direct line to the pavilion. It also serves as it's wide enough for the golf carts and gators to go through. Because we find ourselves as activities and athletics and in football games, we have some of the elderly individuals, people with walkers, people that need to be escorted to the home side, and we're really going through that gravel is not in their best interest nor ours. So this serves multiple purposes and is a direct line out of the back door for students that go in and out and toward the pavilion, which will also be used as a classroom. And then what it looked like as of yesterday, late in this one, it was just me. My pointer's in the wrong direction. Wait to that, I need somebody's help. Darn, thank you. Yep, and that's what it looked like as of yesterday. And so we have just a railing to put on the inside that's been ordered, but outside of that, it's almost a finished project. So we'll have the date to celebrate that and recognize the young man hasn't been set yet, but what a beautiful addition to the complex.
That's great.
Construction projects are finishing up. We've ordered the metal for the pavilion, so we're hoping that's before the holidays. Also, to the left pictures, the classrooms. The last few projects we have left on that is installing Promethean boards over the holiday, and then in January doing a final punch list. So it's all coming together. We also did the Paint the Snowplow initiative. So our art class got together, and you see the students to the right of Miss Joyce Crown Wilkins, our instructor, got together and we participated again. I think it's been a couple of years since we've done that, but that was also in the parade. So that's some of the artwork of some of our students that we're proud to display that. Also, Christmas parades, a couple pictures here. Our girls tennis team, state champs for the honor area. I guess we call them the beginning of the parade. Then we also Grand Marshals, and then we have the ROTC. Always does an excellent job. And then we also had next page. I think we had some other the FFA, some other individual staff members that participated in that. And then we had a small band in there. Problem was the band wasn't as big enough as we've had in years past because most of them are either in ROTC or also in FFA. And ROTC, that's one of their requirements for their class. So half of the band's in ROTC and not in the band. So that wasn't as big. But we did finish. We placed in the top two there. Just this past week, Tuesday night, Mr. Barr, I think you were there present. That's our choir, middle school choir singing. The next slide is also, shortly after that, we had our band. And then tonight is the high school band and choir concert. So it went over really well, really organized. Have you ever been to a middle school concert? There's a lot of beeping and bonging and banging, and they're still learning. But we will say it was extremely organized, and students participated with speeches in between the songs, so we thought it went really well. So Mackie Thompson Learning Center had a preschool wedding for Q and U. Every year they do a fictitious wedding, and all the students get to dress up, and then you have the little aisle there, and You see, they're all made up and they throw flowers. And I did not go this particular day. I had another meeting, so I missed it. It's one of the funnest days of the year for the preschool. Next slide shows that they also have a dance afterward. At a wedding, you gotta have to do a dance. So they all participated in the big dance on the middle of the floor in the preschool. So that was just kind of a cute little event. School board member recognized. Mr. Blackley served as a Virginia School Board Association state delegate for this past year. So he was recognized yesterday at our school board meeting. So we want to recognize him. And also the last couple slides, this is a 2% compensation you may have seen in the news or over the last couple of months that the Governor Youngkin convened a special session of the 2023 General Assembly. And I'm not going to read all this. You do have that information. It does allow for the SOQ funding for a 2% increase for those staff members, and also an all-in funds that goes heavily toward tutoring. And it can be spent over the next 3 years. And you'll have some more information about that from Ms. Mothershead over the next month or so as we've sent that information. So that's our December update. Well, thank you guys for the luncheon yesterday and you guys coming out. And if you have any questions for me.
Again, I want to thank you for the luncheon, but also I was just so impressed with your music leaders working with those kids, especially the band leader and those kids who didn't even know what those instruments were in September. And now they actually put Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star together and played in front of a couple hundred people. It's pretty impressive.
I thought it was overall it was great.
It was great.
Really glad. Transitions in between.
It was fantastic, yeah.
Podium and having to speak, and that was really well done. It kind of made it a little bit longer.
Right, it was great. Thank you.
And then beginning those notes and blowing those whistles in September and actually putting something together. So it's definitely a work in progress. All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to slip out to a superintendent's meeting in Fredericksburg. So, okay. Thank you.
Dr. Davis, you can wait just a second.
Sure.
So Dr. Davis, while you're here, we'll go ahead and just chat about this public hearing. So I do have a school appropriation for the all-in funds that were mentioned. These were awarded to the school through the General Assembly special session. However, Virginia Code Section 15.2-2507 requires us to amend the budget if the amount is over 1% of the total expenditure shown in the currently adopted budget. So if agreeable with the board, we've kind of chatted about it this morning, and we'd like to recess today and perhaps hold a public hearing. It'll, excuse me, it'll just be a quick public hearing perhaps on the 28th, and then that way it allows the school to be able to move forward with that prior to January 1 and get the contracts adjusted or letters sent out, whatever is necessary for the additional funds to the employees.
What time?
If that's, huh?
What time?
I'll put that into motion. You want to meet during the day? You want to meet at night? 6 o'clock?
Sure.
Somebody say something?
What day is it?
And it's going to be the
28th.
28th,
What day does it fall on?
a Thursday. It's a Thursday.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock will be fine. 6 o'clock will be fine.
Oh,
That's the motion.
We need a motion.
January 28th,
No.
6 o'clock.
December 28th.
December 28th, 6 o'clock.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you very much. And this all allows for the public, I guess, to put into the newspapers and all that. Mr. Herbert, we appreciate you working one more day for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trey.
Dave. You have a good day. Have a Merry Christmas so we don't see you.
Good to be with you all. Thanks to Dr. Davis for showing the pictures of the plow there. I didn't bring anything, but I'm glad we were able to restart that and partner with the school, and that was fun to see that they did a great job with the Cardinals and the lights there. It was fun to see them in the parade as well. We've been busy. We've graded the gravel roads, Dunaway Lane and Preacher's Rest. We cleaned pipes on Quinton Lane, Sandy Lane, cut brush on Oak Road. We placed some curb out here at the light on 360, and we repaired a shoulder on Chestnut Hill Road. We also Monday had our first little snow response. We were anticipating rain and We got a little more snow than we expected, but we were able to pivot quickly and get that cleaned up. Upcoming, we'll be cleaning some ditches on Farnham Creek and Route 3, and then we have some brush to cut on Jones Creek and Newland Road, and we'll continue to patch potholes and work on work orders countywide. The pavement is now complete. It's been complete for a little while on 360. All the striping is in and the markers are in, so that's done. County Bridge Road, the bridge there, the fixed completion date is in April. I do anticipate that to finish a couple months early. Hoping for a February finish or earlier. But, they're plowing the short roads now. Everything else is kind of in the out years. If you all have any questions for me, I will say Mr. Herbert's been good working with you. I told you you've got my number. Feel free to use it, even though you're not on the board. And as long as I hear, I'll commit to you, I'm going to try to keep Welford's Wharf above water. If you all have anything for me, I'm happy to take this.
Several months ago, I said something to you about Canal Road on the farm end, you know, and I saw where y'all went out and put the yellow, a stop sign coming up with the yellow tag running the length of the pole, and then at the stoplight, did the same thing in red. I don't know if you know about this or not, but anyhow, it works. It gets your attention. So I just trying to give you a compliment in the effort on that.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't know if everybody else is noticing, but trees on the side of the highway are dying leaps and bounds. And they're just from maturity, I'm sure, because not been able to be cut. I don't want, you got too much to do, but when they are possibly leaning more than normal towards the highway, would you want us to kind of bring it to your attention and where they're at?
Yes, absolutely.
But they're not on the state right of way, you know, it's on these back roads mostly.
Yeah, I mean, we still have to get permission from the landowner to cut them, but we will cut them.
I mean, I just see it's more and more all the time. And some of them, well, they all lean towards the road, don't get me wrong, but some are more leaning than others. Which was, you know, with heavy snow could bring it across the road. But I just didn't know where that boundary, I know it's on the public, not in the public right of way, so it's, you know, it's not a beat out right of way, but okay, there's something that can be done about them.
We'll come out and evaluate them. If we feel like they need to be cut, we can cut them, but if they're off the right of way, we have to have landowner connection.
It's a pile of them on the roads that I travel.
And I was just asked to pass on to you how much some folks in Westmoreland appreciate the paving job on 360 from the bridge in. They have to drive up there. They said make sure they let you know that even though they got to come to Richmond County, they really appreciate that so they can get to Montrose. Anybody else have anything?
We're going to pick up where we left off last year, pave all the way through Warsaw next year, and then part of Route 3 down to the Toski Bridge.
Okay.
So it'll be a smooth ride.
All the way.
All the way.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
You have a good day and a Merry Christmas.
You have a Merry Christmas too.
Thank you.
Morning, everyone. As always, December is in full swing and we are very busy to end the year out. But I'm going to give stats from November. We started out, dispatched 1,447 calls of service that come through our dispatch, 503 civil papers, 39 arrests, 51 warrants served, 61 traffic summonses. Also, in our animal control, we did 37 calls of service. We took in 14 animals. Adoption and returns was 15, and 2 returned to owner. And I believe at this time we only have 2 animals at the shelter right now. So, hoping that we don't have any for Christmas. At the North Lake Regional Jail, we had the superintendent was his last meeting, and it went very well, and Ted's done a lot for the jail, done a lot for all the counties, that it hasn't cost any money. And it's a great thing. The one big thing that was explained, there's some questions coming up about holding of juveniles in the jail, and I believe Hope has that on new business, and we'll be going over that also. Also, within this month here, the last 2 months, officers have paid to grow their beard. We have raised money, and we have partnered with social services to take care of the foster kids, along with a donation from the Tappahannock-Warsaw Moose Lodge. We were able to drop off $1,500 worth of clothes and toys for the foster kids on last Monday. So it was, and I had one secretary that wrapped everything. We just left our money. Also, our dispatch got involved, and during the Thanksgiving, they did a food drive with help from the social services, and actually 2 of the dispatchers went out and delivered all the food to the individuals. So that was a big thing, giving back to the community. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Any questions for the sheriff? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have Merry Christmas.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, to share a few figures with you as of November 30th. In all the Richmond County high-five checking and funds, $7,456,988.97. In the general fund, $3,155,137.54. Uncollected taxes for 2023, $4,825,953.71. So that figure has changed quite a bit since December 1. The collections from December 1 to present, $2,709,527.55. So that brings the uncollectible down to $2,116,426.16. Mr. Herbert, as in comparison to previous years, looking at that uncollectible figure as of November 30th, that was all from last year, about $850,000. Now we had not received a lot of our large public service, which is a lot of money. That was, why did I put that on here? I did not. But that's over $300,000 within itself. I was talking to Jennifer this morning. It's kind of hard to compare apples to apples on it because we had $345,000 more to collect than we did last year in levy. So the uncollectible figure isn't quite where it was last year, but I still feel like it's a very good figure. In comparison, yeah. Last year, this time, the uncollectible was, compared to the 4.8 million, we were 3.9. But like I said, we had a lot of stuff that has not come in yet. With that being said, the mail, extremely slow. I believe Maria worked the mail this year. She had a piece come in yesterday from October. So it's trickling in. Online and phone payments, although they were up 123,000 from last year. So it's definitely a more guaranteed way for the money to get to us. We had 420,000 in online and phone payments from December 1 to present, which is usually the largest lump of it comes in right at the last minute. The people want to pay last minute and get it in quickly. Dropbox was being utilized a lot, with the mail being kind of slow at times. And of course, we do observe the postmark, but we've got a lot of nervous people calling us up right now saying they haven't, my check hasn't cleared, have you received it? So anyway, so the collections, the time period itself in the office, I commend my staff as always. Lori and myself work the window. Bridget was working online and phone payments and the window, and Maria was working the mail as hard as she could go and on the telephone. So, and B, our trusty Busy Bee, she was there posting and filing and doing anything else we needed her to do. It's a lot of money that comes in that short period of time. Not that we don't mind the work, but it's just a lot of money, and it's a lot of concentration on it. So I feel like we made it through another tax season, did a wonderful job, my staff did, and that's about all I have to say.
Any questions for the treasurer?
I would just like to, I don't mean to harass you, particularly tax time, but y'all do a great job. And how y'all balance everything to the penny every day is beyond me.
And balancing those cash drawers during that busy time can be hairy at times. There have been days, back in the days of Edith Ann, where we were there till 11 o'clock at night trying to find a problem, and it wouldn't balance. This year we didn't have any of that. It was wonderful. I do feel that next year we're going to be down just to 2 cash windows because online and mail require 2 dedicated people. So, and maybe that will cut down on the customer traffic with more people paying online.
But thank you, and your staff.
You're very welcome. And I do, as far as, I have one fond memory to share with you, Mr. Herbert, that I believe we took office at the same time in 2016, correct?
Correct.
I remember that day, my mother and father worked this polling place, and you and Kathy were out there. And my father had the best time that day. My mother said y'all caught up on all kinds of conversation. So it was a wonderful day for him. He had a good time.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you, ma'am. You have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Steve, I had one question I meant to ask you. Have we heard, that's all right, you can stay right there. Have you heard any trouble with the rifles? Any?
Not
Good.
as of today.
I've been getting a few pictures of, and thank you, so good stuff. Good stuff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just to piggyback what Christy was talking about this morning, I am here today to talk about personal property. I know our deadline has come and gone. I apologize for not being here last month to take care of this report. So don't be alarmed, a lot of red numbers. That doesn't always necessarily mean bad. You'll see the top report that I've given you, that's the taxes. You will see that they have, the total levy has gone down 150,000. But by the time we take in consideration the late filing fee, the vehicle license tax, and then the change in the PPTRA credit, which was done in October, our still overall total tax due was increased by 158,000 and some change. The red, I know it seems funny that you can have some of the columns go down, but with the PPTRA changing, that means the county was giving out less money. So the red in that category is actually a good thing. The state allows about 803,000, so you can still see how much of that we are giving out beyond what the state is giving back to us. So still an overall increase on the total tax due for personal property. The next section of the report just breaks down the values. I know we've been talking for the last couple of years how much valuation has changed for vehicles. So that just goes to show that the vehicle valuation is still continuing to go back down to pre-COVID levels where we showed such a big increase. The next page of the report is public service. Red numbers in that category can be alarming. The public service is based on the ratio of our assessments versus what the sale price is for transactions through deeds. So the further we get away from that 100% assessment, the further away the public service gets reported to us. So the last ratio study that we received from the state is about 70%. So they are saying that our assessments are 70% of what the sale price is for transactions in real estate. So because of that, public service gets to base their assessments on that ratio of 70%. So we are technically only getting 70% of our public service because our assessments are so far off. With our reassessment coming up, hopefully we can get those levels back up and we see an increase in our public service taxes. And the next page is just the overall recap that gets printed in the personal property book. Just breaks it down between the districts and just more detailed than what I have summed up on the first report. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions for the treasurer?
Commissioner.
All right.
Thank you. And thank you,
You are
Billy.
welcome.
Thank you for all
You have a
done.
great day and a Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Thank you.
You ready?
Yep. All right, I just wanted to share some information with you all from the building, planning, zoning offices. We had total fees collected for the month of November at $3,562, with a total construction cost of $1,044,398. We had 8 zoning permits issued and 2 land disturbance permits issued. And I did want to note that we had a large amount, I don't have the exact number, but we had a large amount this past month of subdivision approvals and boundary line adjustments. And of course, when they come into our office, myself and my staff are always, we enjoy talking to them about, what are the plans, helping them with development and assuring them that, we'll definitely be there to help them through the permitting process. So that kind of lends us an opportunity to talk to folks that are either moving or relocating to Richmond County. As far as the Planning Commission, we did meet on December the 11th. There were no pending applications for review, so we went ahead and did like a recap of 2023 and discussed some status updates on our solar projects that are pending. From the Booker's Mill Solar site, of course, the team from Strata and Dominion are continuing to address our maintenance issues. I did want to kind of touch on some of those issues that we have had to report. The dust and debris in the roadway, of course, has been a big concern. Some of the measures that Strata has put into place are track out systems. They're watering the roads, and they're also doing street sweeping. And then the last measure that they've put into place is they're starting to spray the trucks down prior to leaving the site, which I'm hoping will help with the dust. Of course, after all the rain we've had, dust is not an issue right now. Speed on the narrow roadways has been a concern that is being addressed. As some of the deliveries are made, they've started to send lead cars out to help with that concern of the speed. And then lastly, I have had one question on the makeup of the panels at the Booker's Mill site. And as you all remember, this was a topic that we talked about when we were doing the conditions for the facility. So we did have a condition put in that eliminated any harmful elements in the panels. And I have here with me today the information that was received as to the makeup of the panels. So if any of the board members wish to see this or have a copy of this, I can certainly make that available. And then moving on to our Cerulean and Moon Corner sites, we've got pre-construction meetings that we've talked about with those sites that need to be scheduled, and address assignments are being done so that those facilities can get underway. And then the last 2 projects are our Self-Community Solar and the DG Virginia, which is the Davis project. Those 2 projects are still under review. They do not have a land disturbance permit yet, so we're still kind of marching through the different submittals that they have sent to our office, and of course they're being shared with DEQ, Resource, and VDOT. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody have anything for Hope and Planning?
I will be wanting one of those copies of that.
Okay, yes, I'll certainly get that to you.
I'd like to put something to the plan, or have y'all put something to the Planning Commission, and that's looking at tire stores.
So hopefully we can avoid this mess that occurred at Red Hill.
Okay.
And I guess talk to other counties about what they do or how they control
Okay.
and come up with something that we could look at,
All right, sounds good.
if that's all right.
Yeah.
All right, Mitch is on a call, so. Chief Thomas.
I'll set my pager here. We got 2 engines out right now, so I'm trying to monitor the rest of what's going on in the world in case something else comes off, while they take care of what they got going on. So if you hear it vibrate or something, it's just. Good morning, good morning. I might do this off my phone, I'm not being rude, but Jason had all the copies with him and he's on the engine, so.
Well, you can have one of ours if
don't
you
mind.
want,
That'd be
David.
great. It's a whole lot easier. Thank you, sir. Marvelous. All right, December report, actually be November report. So the month of November, we had 24 calls in Warsaw, 12 motor vehicle accidents, 2 LZs, 5 actual fires, 1 mutual aid, 3 fire alarms, 1 medical assist. Company 2, we had 11 total calls, which consisted of 4 motor vehicle accidents, 2 brush fires, 2 fire alarms, and 1 mutual aid, and 2 LZs. And then Company 3, we had 1 motor vehicle accident, 2 deer strikes, 3 field fires, and 1 combine fire, for a total of 42 calls for the month of November. It has been a busy month. All good. We had a lot of support from our community, and everyone went home at the end of the day, which is always our main objective. Upcoming Santa run, we're trying to dodge the rain. It seems like Sundays are the day for rain. We were headed planned for last Sunday, which obviously that had to be canceled. We have it rescheduled for this Sunday, which is looking like it's going to be another rain out, but we're probably still going to have Santa on the ride. Santa just will not be standing on the back of the truck. He'll probably be in the back seat of the truck, or passenger seat of the truck waiting. So we're still keep an eye on Facebook for all that good stuff. We're going to try to get him out. The elections for the 2024 officers will remain the same from 2023. If y'all need a rundown of those, I can certainly give y'all the rundown who's who. The upcoming gun show is scheduled for March the 9th and 10th at the same building as the last show, which is across from Calvary Church. We also had an MCI training, which is mass casualty incidents training with the squad, EMT class, and I think RCC class was involved as well. So the fire department got to come in on the side of being able to cut cars, play with our tools a little bit. Jason ran command to understand what all it takes in a mass casualty situation. So it gave him the opportunity to see the chaos in the situation and to bring it to a stable situation for everybody. Everybody did well. We had one member that I don't believe had ever cut on a car at all. He was able to put his hands on the tool. 2 other members had some experience, but not a whole lot, so it gave them more experience on top of it. So it was really good for everybody across the board. And a lot of fun and exciting things are going on and getting going. Our gun raffle is also taken away for the month or started and on the go for the month of December. So prizes have been started handing out, and everything's going along good with that. We sold all the tickets, and everything's good shape like last year. So, y'all got any questions for me?
Excuse me, any questions for the chief? Thank you, sir. You have a Merry Christmas. Y'all be
It's been a
safe.
pleasure as always.
Thank you,
And,
Mr.
wish you the
Thomas.
best. Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
I do have a ticket, and I have not received the call that I wanted.
What was the number? I can't remember the number.
I got it at the house.
You got it at the house. Okay, well, we'll do our best. Virginia Lottery is kind of picky what numbers they pull out. Although they did play the same number twice back to back, so hard to say. Thank you. Thank you.
You ready to talk trash?
Yes, I'll talk with the trash. On our solid waste report, for the month of November, we did have 56 total hauls, and the breakdown on that is 25 from Indian Field, 17 from Farnham, and 14 from Newland. As you all know, it's the time of year for dump passes, so dump passes for 2024 have been received and will start being mailed over the next several weeks.
Any questions?
How is the, oh, 56 halls, is it kind of remaining steady, or are we increasing, or?
Yes, 56 is right kind of in the average of what we've seen over the past few years. Our tonnage per haul is also, it's not where I want it, but it's close enough to be comfortable with the tonnage per haul. Of course, you all understand that we want to carry as much as we can with each haul, and so you know, if we can eliminate more of the open tops, we're in a better spot.
Is our overall tonnage pretty much the same, even with closing the other two places once a week?
Our numbers are staying pretty steady, even with the two being closed.
Okay.
So that sort of leads me to believe that those people that are, you know, not able to go to the sites that are closed are still taking their trash
To Indian Field.
to Indian Field on those days.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, just now we'll open public comment period. Mr. Mullen?
James Clifford Mullen, 8351 History Land Highway, Walsall, Virginia. Good morning. First, Sheriff Smith, I learned this morning that I was throwing VDOT under the bus on it, but on Route 3, just before you get to Emerson, there's a speed sign on the curb on the handrail, guardrail, and I thought it was VDOT cautioning me on my way home. I understand that it's y'all, and I thank you for keeping me in line.
Be surprised how many vehicles slow down.
Yeah. Start with, last month, there were comments made about the North Neck Regional Jail, and I come with no other way to say than it's confusing to me, unless there's been some major change there since my visit to the facility. And unless they have lots of mirrors and curtains and smoke going on, I saw nothing that indicated anything of the sort that I'm hearing. I'm not saying that there can't be events, there can't be situations that come up, but in the overall look and scheme of things, this all sounds like some attempt to get attention for something that's not really there. And the question that was brought up last month about the juvenile housing, I believe y'all have the same thing that I've heard about and seen, that as of 1995, the jail had been given a certification on this. So that question should be out of our mind. But the North Neck Regional Jail is something that we have in our county, and we need to be proud of it. But I'm just confused about the reports. As for the day, I'm impressed with the next topic on your agenda, and I don't want to in any way take any of the wind out of the sails for the Virginia Rural Leadership Institute, so I'm not going to say anything about that, but that I was impressed reading that and seeing what that is, and I'll be very interested in what is presented next. The notes that y'all have about the EMS rates is a subject that needs to be looked at closely before any action. I'm not saying that there hasn't been plenty of research done on what I'm seeing presented, but on the surface, this appears to me to be a big step, and I'm sure this needs to have the change to it. I don't know all the history, you know what I mean, and the background in it, but I encourage y'all to make sure before we make any step forward on it, that we look deeply into what we're getting ready to do. Route 3, corridor of statewide significance. I'm confused. I mean, I knew this all the time. I mean, I don't know why now you're having to send out a notification of this. I live right on Route 3, and if nothing else, statewide significance is right there, along with Thomas's store is right there, just a stone's throw from me. And for the state to not want this to be a significant highway in our state is confusing, all jokes aside. Reading deeply into this, I see what they're saying and the interest in it. The parallelism of Route 3 and 17 coming down shows a big thing that I had never thought about. The big thing for us, anything that we can do to send our notice of approval, our notice of interest, our notice of funding, what was it that they had in this for programs to improve, to enhance, to make this road more visible and useful for our state, I see that it can be to our advantage and to our help. VDOT may not want to get but so much done in it because that's going to just turn it back around for more work for them. But for us, as been mentioned several times this morning, just the improvements of 360 coming off the bridge can make a big change for all of us. And I look to this to be something for y'all to consider and keep on working towards with that program. The notice that you received about and we saw about the Rappahannock Community College program on solar tech is on time for our county. With what we have done over the past year with the solar programs, this is an opportunity for us to have education for people in our county, in our area, where they can be educated to be available to these programs for employment and have it something that is, you know, in our area for people to have the opportunity to do this. I was impressed to see what they had done, or that they have that program entered in for their studies. Having said this, I'll close by saying I want to wish y'all a happy holiday. Merry Christmas. As was said earlier, let us all enjoy the opportunity of love and giving, but don't forget the birthday of Jesus Christ, our Savior, is what this event is all centered around. For the new year, I wish you a holiday season of wealth, health, and good living. I thank you for the opportunity to be able to attend these meetings all this year. Keep an eye on y'all and make sure you're staying in the right direction. And in closing, I want to let you know that this was not in any way something that I was getting ready to tell you I won't be this year coming, attending every meeting that the good Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, that I'll be here to keep an eye on. Mr. Herbert, good job. Thank you all.
Thank you, Cliff. Cliff, you have a Merry Christmas too. Cliff, I do have a little information for you. The final pour of concrete has been done on the bridge.
Oh, yeah?
So all the concrete work is.
There you go.
All straight? Mm-hmm. All right. Mr. Barber.
Good morning, Carl Barber, 1125 Riverdale Road, Warsaw. First, I want to start by commending volunteer fire department, specifically David Thomas, wish he was still here. Last Sunday, when it was pouring down rain at 11 o'clock at night, I was walking my dogs and I noticed my neighbor's power line pole had a little electrical fire. So I called him, he came and looked at it and got in touch with Northern Electric Co-op, and they took care of it about 12:30. So great job. He takes his job seriously. I'm very happy to have him in our county. So people do a good job around here. I like to let them know it. What I'm here to talk about specifically is our one item in the budget, or actually it's not in the budget, something that's consistently has a 0 next to it in our budget is civil defense. Now, I come from Boy Scouts where our motto is be prepared, and also fully believe that those who fail to plan for failure. So I do think it's appropriate that we have something in our civil defense budget for next year. I'm not asking for an enormous amount, but we need to show the taxpayers of this county that we value their safety and well-being. And we know that there are, wildfires are happening more and more often. Things like the incident in Palestine, Ohio, with the train derailment, man-caused disasters. Every year we have hurricane season. We have tornadoes occasionally. We even had an earthquake in Mineral, Virginia back in 2011. So things do happen. We don't know what's going to happen, but we need to be prepared. If someone were to ask me where to start, I'd say with water purification. We have trucks that can pull up into a mill pond, put a hose in, and start purifying thousands of gallons of water for distribution. I think that would be a good thing. Thank you. And Merry Christmas. Happy retirement.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Mr. Jeffries.
Good morning, all. Thank you. My name is Tom Jeffries, Chairman of Northern Neck Patriots. Thank you for honoring my request to put the topic of juvenile housing on the agenda for this meeting. As others have mentioned, you've got something you're going to talk about later, a letter from Mr. Hall that clarifies that matter, and I can say I'm relieved having read that, so thank you again. And by the way, someone just mentioned that, Mr. Mullins mentioned that this may be about attention. It's not. It's about transparency. We want to understand what's going on in our jail, which is in our county, and it's important that we understand what's happening there. So the jail's employed a variety of financial methods over the years to keep costs low. That was talked about again today. In fact, it's 0 impact on surrounding counties, except for Gloucester, which we know has a buy-in agreement. That's going to end in a few years, I believe. Some other revenue streams for the jail are roughly $1.7 million a year that comes from commissary and phone call fees. Per Senate Bill 581, that revenue stream is going to be eliminated or reduced. That's a big hit on the counties. Federal and state contracts to house prisoners from outside of our area have dwindled recently. So it appears to me that the days of 0 cost to the counties is in jeopardy. And I think the citizens of Northern Neck need to remain vigilant as our jail deals with these financial challenges going forward. I'm encouraged and hopeful to see an era of greater transparency coming to the Northern Neck Regional Jail, and thank you for your leadership in this regard. I'm late for work, so I'll wish you Merry Christmas, and thank you very much.
Same to you. All right, at this time we'll close public comment, and we'll move on to item 6, Virginia Rural Leadership.
Okay. So we have a little report to share with you all today from the Virginia Rural Leadership Institute. As some of you may remember, I was able to be a part of that program during its first cohort and its second cohort. Vanessa Livingston and Jackie Davis were able to experience that class. And so they're going to share some things with us today. The second cohort of this program graduated on November 4th. The VRLI is a leadership program that focuses on developing rural Virginia's existing and emerging leaders. So congratulations to Ms. Livingston and Mrs. Davis for completing the program. And I do have a picture of the group, and then am interested in hearing what they had to share with us today.
Good morning. So Jackie and I were selected, I guess, out of, I think, how many were in our class, 28, something like that, when you see us all up there. So we were selected to be in the group, and we started in January. I guess we were selected in January, February, something like that. And we went to 4 different places across the state of Virginia. And like Hope said, Hope went to the same ones. Actually, Tappahannock and Warsaw was the second location that we went. And we started off in Danville. And we just basically went around and learned about rural Virginia and different programs that they had there. A lot about economic development is a big push in this program, I guess. But one of the things that comes out of the program, I guess, is we had to start a project. So Jackie and I partnered up with our project together that you have to come back and kind of implement in your community. So Jackie and I chose, since Jackie's with Workforce Development, and Jackie sits on my FAP team, which is our CSA here in the county. So we'll talk a little bit about our project, but basically the point in the rural leadership is just to really learn about how, I guess, rural localities, we struggle obviously a lot because we don't have the resources, and where funding is very, we're not like Fairfax, obviously. One of the best ones that I felt, well, I'll speak for me. I love St. Paul. It was the furthest away. I've never been that far in Southwest Virginia. We were really close to Kentucky, which we actually did go into Kentucky at one point. I think that one was my favorite just because they talked a lot about what's near and dear to my heart, I guess, with my work. A lot about opioid epidemic, a lot about children and poverty. So that's what was close to me. I didn't really, it's not that I couldn't relate to Danville, but when we're talking about like spending $13 million on a building, I was like, wow, I can't, like, I just can't even. We get $450 to clothe children a year in foster care. So those numbers were like very astronomical to me, and it was just eye-opening, the amounts of money that they can spend versus when we have children that we can't really even take care of in our own system, and I'm doing bake sales to take care of kids. So, and by the way, really quickly, thank you, Steve, for all your contributions. That was great partnering with him for our foster care children. Very appreciative of that. So I will say that I'll let Jackie talk about her experience with that, and then we'll talk about our project.
So the biggest takeaway for me, like Vanessa said, we went to all these different places across the state. St. Paul was probably my favorite too. And as Vanessa touched on, all rural counties don't have the resources and things available that other localities, the larger localities have. So I think the biggest takeaway for me is that in those areas where they had such great success, it wasn't just one locality or one county or one town. They looked at their surrounding agencies, and the same thing with the agencies and organizations as the localities. You looked at who was your resources in your area. You pulled them all together, and even though in one of the localities, and I can't remember which one it was, they said this project didn't specifically benefit us to the effect that it did the others, but we still felt that we needed to be a part of it because there are other projects that we were part of that we seemed to benefit from. So I think just pulling the resources together from the whole region and not just our one little teeny locality, or even with me with the agency or organization that you represent. You look outside of that to see what other things you can pull in to help complement what you're doing.
And the partnership. I think that's our biggest takeaway, Jackie and I talked about, was just how we partner with each other and those relationships and how important relationships are, because sometimes it's not about what you have, but just it's easier to pick up the phone and call who you know versus what you can bring to the table, you know, and it's easier to say, hey, Jackie, she knows me, so if I have a need, she'll say yes to it because she knows we have that relationship. So it's very important about being kind and working together. And maybe sometimes you have to say no, but the next time you can say yes when you have those relationships. So, so we'll talk a little bit about our project. So Jackie, I sit on Workforce Development, so I sit on Jackie's board with Workforce Development, and she sits on FAP with me. She's my parent rep on that team. And everybody knows what CSA is, our Children's Services Act. So we get a lot of kids that come before our team who might be before the courts, that obviously the Sheriff's Department probably has some involvement with, that also DJJ has some involvement with, the courts have involvement with. And we see a lot of young adults who probably are getting to that age where they're fixing to transition out of high school, if they're even showing up to school, with not a big plan. Some of them have some other issues in home life, maybe not a lot of parental supervision, maybe a lack of just knowledge, basic knowledge, and not a lot of supervision. And so we really thought about it and thought, how can we, besides just saying, okay, show up to court and the judge orders you to, you know, obviously comply with whatever the FAP team tells you, and then we send you to get some services with CSB maybe, and then we don't see you again. And then you graduate, or maybe you don't graduate, and then we never, you know, see anything, and you're in the system after you're 18, and then you're showing up at Steve's front door for the rest of your life, or maybe in jail. How do we get you into the workforce situation? So Jackie and I decided that we're going to do a referral system. So when we start identifying these children, we're going to send you to Jackie's station, and we're going to put you on workforce development's track. So you have to now do the virtual
reality.
Yes, Jackie has a program with virtual. I'll let you explain it since it's your program.
So the virtual reality, and we have that, and it's focused mainly for our youth. It's to help give those ones that don't know what they want to do or don't have the direction. Thank you, sorry. They don't have any direction. They don't have, as Vanessa said, they don't have it modeled at home. This gives them something where they can explore different careers. We have virtual reality that gives them that opportunity to explore 33 different occupations. We also, the individual that heads that group is really good with the youth, sitting down with them, talking to them, trying to figure out what's going on, and trying to provide them the resources in the region or the area to help them be successful, to give them hope, so that they can move forward, that they're not stuck in the same situations or continuing to be in trouble or those kinds of things.
And it's a way, I mean, the reality is, I tell people all the time, you don't know what you don't know, and knowledge is power. So if you don't have a parent at home talking to you about college, or what do you do after high school, or what, you know, most people just say, okay, get a job, okay. But if you don't know what you don't know, if somebody's not going to tell you, you never will know. So it's our way of kind of at least having that conversation so they know what's out there. If they choose not to take advantage of it, that's fine, but at least they have the knowledge. And then Jackie's group can help them do resume writing and refer to RCC over here and get them that training. Yeah, pay for the training and help them fill out the forms to get that training, because at least it's something other than just saying, okay, well, what are you going to do? And them saying, I don't know, because that's what we're getting now. And then they just leave and we never hear from them again. So that's a way to track that, and it's something that's tangible that they can at least see some benefit from. So, and then we'll track those numbers. I've had conversations with the judge about it. We talked about possibly putting that in not necessarily a court order, but using that for the kids who are on probation instead of picking up trash on the side of the road, like having them actually go and have to spend some time in her department and learning about, you know, resume writing and job searching, and how do you apply for a job, and how do you dress for an interview, and interview skills, because you're going to have to work at some point, hopefully, and learning all of those things versus other, you know, community service projects that we do. So that's our project. We hope it's going to be successful.
One other thing that I think was a big takeaway from that group right there, these are all different resources that we can rely on to. It expanded our network. There's one guy in there in the middle, he is human resources. We're a small organization, we don't have human resources, so that's somebody that I can rely on if I ever have any HR issues. There's this young man right here on this end actually worked in the governor's office and helped with the workforce transformation, so he's also a good contact. This guy on this end is someone from the Federal Reserve, and him and I have been talking quite a bit. They want to put some money behind workforce development, so we've been talking with him as well. So this is just another expanding network and meeting new people. That's a really great opportunity.
Absolutely, totally agree. So I just want to say thank you to Hope for allowing us to be a part of this. It was a wonderful experience. So we're very grateful for that opportunity.
Thank you, and thanks for sharing with us. It's definitely, the connections that are made are people that you won't forget. I mean, you see them 4 times in different parts of the state, but like you said, those connections will carry with you forever. So thanks for sharing.
We'd like to congratulate y'all. Fine job, and wish y'all all a Merry Christmas. Does anybody else have anything?
I'm excited about the structure that you're trying to lay out for this. It's very much needed, and I think it's going to be very helpful.
We hope so. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
And thank you for everything.
Thank you for that.
All right, we're going to go to item number 8, North Neck Regional Jail Juvenile Housing.
Mitch is on his way.
I saw it with the school.
Okay.
I wanted to let him catch his breath.
Right. Okay, so I did want to talk about the juvenile housing and just kind of give you all the information that we have been provided to make sure everybody understands the questions that were raised. So we did have questions raised in the public comment in November about the housing of juveniles in Northern Neck Regional Jail. And after a conversation with the jail superintendent, I do have a couple of things to share. The jail has been certified to house juveniles since 1995. And it actually sought that certification at the direction of their board. So I did include a copy of the email from Mr. Ted Hall in your packet. And the two circumstances that may cause a juvenile to be incarcerated in an adult facility are, one, a juvenile currently housed in a juvenile facility is so disruptive or violent that he or she is beyond the ability of the facility to manage and is at risk of the other detainees. The juvenile facility administrator can petition the court to place that subject in an adult facility for management in the belief that an adult facility is better prepared to manage such an inmate. Or the other way, and which is far more likely, is that the juvenile offender's alleged crime is so serious he is emancipated and certified as an adult by the court. Effectively, he may be a chronological juvenile, however, he is legally an adult. There have been very few cases where this has happened, and actually in Ted's email, he mentions in his 28-year history of the jail, he feels like they've had a juvenile there approximately 10 times. And so hopefully that clears up that yes, they are certified to house juveniles. However, is this something that happens on a regular basis? No. So just wanted to provide that information. And as far as the allegations of the jail, of course, they were mentioned a little bit earlier, and Cliff mentioned the allegations that were made again this past month at the jail board. We had satisfactory inspection results that were shared with us, and so I feel like that staff does an excellent job, and they're staying on top of the issues that have been brought forth, and making sure that things are run smoothly there.
And one of those inspections was another health department inspection.
Yeah.
And the jail achieved 100%. All right, anybody have any questions? Okay, you want to move on to Route 3 proposal?
Sure. So on the Route 3 corridor of statewide significance, over the past few years there's been discussion about considering Route 3 as a corridor of statewide significance. This is defined as an integrated multi-modal network of transportation facilities that connect major city centers of activity within and through the Commonwealth and promote the movement of people and goods essential to the economic prosperity of the state. The Northern Neck Planning District Commission has facilitated much conversation around the importance of this designation. Currently, the Fredericksburg Area Metropolitan Planning Organization is requesting the Commonwealth Transportation Board to recognize Virginia State Route 3 as a corridor of statewide significance. This designation will make it easier to secure funding in the future for improvements or upgrades of the roadway. I will say that in my conversations with VDOT on smart scale projects, as you know, in the past, we have not been able to score well on a smart scale project unless we have a major safety issue in the area. And at our last meeting, it was mentioned that if Route 3 is listed as a corridor of statewide significance, we will automatically score better on some of those projects because it puts us kind of in a different level for scoring. And of course, in the past, PDC has had a lot of conversation about this and has tried to push the topic, but I do feel like kind of jumping on the bandwagon with this Fredericksburg Area Metropolitan Group, perhaps their voice will be louder and we can be a part of that voice and then hopefully, get that corridor recognized, because, I'm with Cliff, all roads lead to Farnham, and so, we must, of course, this map shows Route 3, and this, of course, is the area that Fredericksburg is concerned with, but, we can tag on and be a part of that as well by supporting their cause to try to get this Route 3 stretch recognized. And so, based off of the preference of the board, I'm happy to write a letter supporting it, if that's what you desire.
I think I would think so. Do you think this would help with Route 3 ever getting to be a 4-lane?
Eventually.
I think that's their basis, Billy, from
Yeah.
some of the meetings that I've been in years ago.
Yeah, I think it would make it an easier process if once it's identified, then, it's one of those things that they would kind of go after. And, some.
Not for the looking through 3, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that would be a big help, because, from 301 down, it's, if you happen to be behind a truck or something, you're behind it.
You're
till you
done.
get to Montrose.
Frank Delaney would be proud.
All right, well, I guess we need a motion. I think the simplest thing we can do is just have a motion to have Hope draft this letter, and when you get it ready, I'll sign it.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay. There's no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. All right, Rappahannock Community College Solar Tech.
Okay, so RCC is planning a new solar technician program titled Solar Technician Associate. This will be a 40-hour course that will introduce students to photovoltaic design, installation, and maintenance of solar systems. Of course, the program developer from RCC is sending a request to the Virginia Community College System to receive Fast Forward and G3 funding for the course, and has asked for our support. If the Fast Forward funding is received, the total out-of-pocket cost of the course would be $475, which is only a third of the tuition amount. This solar technician program will be a little bit separate from the initial SHINE instruction that is offered by RCC. And as we know, there's a lot of solar activity in the county, and anytime we can train people to be able to go straight to work in that field, I think it's a great thing. I know Jackie would agree that, workforce development is certainly looking to send some folks through the solar education process, and it allows them to be able to go right to work, and then perhaps move with the company as they move to other jobs. So again, I think they're not asking us for any money for the course. They're just merely looking for our support so that they can show that to the Fast Forward and G3 funding.
I think we need to probably write another letter.
Yes.
If you would take care of that, and if we have a motion to support this. Okay, thank you. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
All right, great, thank you.
It sounds like a great program.
Is that more geared toward like the solar farms and things like that, not the residential? Is that what
Yes.
it is? The commercial?
Yeah, the SHINE and this new program would be more geared towards the larger facilities.
Okay.
Does Kathy need to go? Does Kathy need to go?
No.
Okay. All right. VDOT recreational trail.
Okay, yes, on the VDOT trail, the environmental review has finally been completed on that, and so VDOT has allowed me to take the next steps to start talking to the property owners and securing instruments on the easement documents. So I will be, upon receiving the sketches from Resource and ARM, I will be talking to the property owners and then working with the attorney for easement documents.
Okay. Any questions? All right. ARPA.
All right, just like to share the current balance of the ARPA funds is at $1,021,339. So we've spent none of those funds this past month.
Okay, any questions? Coggin Building.
A pre-construction meeting was held with Haley Builders on December 5th. Areas were identified that need to be reorganized prior to the construction beginning. We have signed the construction contract with Haley Builders, and they are currently securing their subcontracts for plumbing, electrical, mechanical. So I do expect construction to begin over there within the next couple of weeks. Junior and Ed from our maintenance department have been doing an excellent job trying to get out of there or get out of the way items that need to be out of the way for construction start. So they've spent a lot of time over at the Coggin building, but I'm excited to see demolition start and then, new stuff coming back for our departments.
That old shop, they're not going in that part of it, are they?
They are asking us to clean out that part.
Okay.
You mean the little spot?
That little nook up in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if there's anything over there that you wish to save that perhaps.
Well, I was gonna there's an old refrigerator in there.
Okay.
I mean, old, I think it's a gas one, but I can't remember what I read on, but I need to look at it. I can get you to look at it sometime. That I'd like us to donate it to the Farm Museum if they'll take it. They've got a little kitchen set up down there. If they want it, I'd like to give them first refusal of it.
Okay.
And I'll go over there and take some pictures of it and send it to them, if that's all right with everybody.
Yeah, well, let's walk in there today and just make sure that there's nothing else, because
Okay.
I've really, Junior and Ed have been trying hard to get those areas just kind of cleaned out. So,
Yeah, all right. Excuse me, EMS Station 2.
the task order for finalizing the plans on EMS Station 2 and Company 2 addition for the fire department, I should have that very shortly. I know that Resource has been working on that. Following the approval of that task order, Resource will be able to finalize the plans for further review, and we will be in a position to submit for bids. I did speak to Resource yesterday, and I'm going to follow back up with Mike Fiore today on that. It may be that we'll have to do our setbacks are not lining up with the way that the ordinance is aligned, and so we may have to take the project to BZA just to get the allowance and get it approved so that we can meet that same footprint that we saw before as far as the EMS building goes. So that's something we'll be working on in the coming weeks.
Commerce Park.
So the original, we've had some changes with that grant, and Resource has been working with us on that. The original Commerce Park EDA grant project included the build-out of Route 3, or the build-out to Route 3, and a substantial upgrade to the basin at the park. The substantial upgrade included quality and quantity treatment for stormwater runoff. And so what we had hoped to do, and the way Morgan had aligned this initially, was to go ahead and upgrade that basin so that it could serve any business that may come into the commercial park. But due to the current costs that are projected for the project, we're somewhat revising the plans, which will not affect our grant amounts, but I think it will make it doable. Plans are being revised to build the basin for quantity only and continue to build out the road to Route 3. So this change will require industrial clients to provide quality treatment on site, which is what the Helena and Bay Transit and the food bank have done on site at their facilities. Okay. And so it that change kind of keeps this project moving forward. and allows us to, make the adjustment based off of price increases.
Okay. Any questions? All right, ERP Financial.
Yeah, so the ERP Financial, Chris and Denise have been working closely with conversion efforts over the last month. I know that they have been going through list of vendors so that they can get them in a position to be ready to go into the new system. So certainly still working along on that. As we know, it'll be an ongoing process. And Billy, we know that this process and this system is something that you've been driving for years, and so even with you gone, and we're going to make sure that you're aware of the updates on this system.
Thank you.
Again, this year, the auditors certainly encouraged this software.
Okay, any questions? All right, general reassessment.
Okay, yeah, reassessment notices. I actually had a chance to talk to Fred Pearson yesterday. He is planning to mail those reassessment notices shortly after the Christmas holiday. So he'll be mailing the notices, and then of course he'll be working along with the folks trying to fix clerical errors on the reassessment notices, and then we'll have our Board of Equalization come in for the meetings on possible adjustments.
Okay. Any questions about that? All right, we need to Mitch for the radio.
No, I can give you an update on that.
Okay.
So on the radio infrastructure, a meeting was held on December 8th to review the estimates on our change orders. Of course, we talked briefly about those change orders last month. We're still doing some research on some of those change requests. However, the project is still moving forward. We were real concerned that they had pumped the brakes on the project and were kind of waiting on us to decide on these change orders, but that's not the case. We've had some conversations with L3 Harris. They're still moving forward with ordering equipment and things of that nature, and we will continue to work through the change orders. The biggest change order that we're kind of stuck at is testing, and the testing would involve testing on the Essex system. So just working with Essex and the regional radio system, we're going to try to come up with a resolution on that. We do plan to meet again the first part of January because one of the next things that we need to do to keep the project moving forward is to approve the baseline design. And I do think that at this point, everybody is happy with the baseline design. It's just a matter of kind of recapping it and getting everybody's check of approval.
Okay. Any questions? All right. What do you have for us, miscellaneous?
Miscellaneous. I included in your binder a packet of information from Bay Aging. Of course, this is kind of an update from them, so it gives you all board notes and happenings throughout the agency. I just felt like that was something important for you all to be able to kind of read through prior to budget season. And then I also wanted to share with you some exciting news that we found out about shortly after the meeting last month. Richmond County has been allocated funding through the 2023 State Homeland Security Program in the amount of $135,350 for the installation of a backup power supply device to be installed in the Richmond County Elections Office, which also cover all spaces in this particular building. Many thanks to Haley Cullison and Chris Jett for their work on the grant application. The installation of that backup power supply is deemed to enhance election security, and so that's how she was able to get the application approved. She actually met with somebody and they walked through the building and came up with an estimate on the backup power supply for this building, and it came in right around the $135,000, and so we're excited about that. It'll give us another building that, you know, if the power goes off, we get to keep working. Yeah, right. And then also in your packet, I just wanted to mention, to make sure that you didn't overlook it or not see it, each of you have received a letter from a Miss Sherry Burr, and so just wanted to make sure you saw that in the side.
Okay. Any questions about any of that? All right, board appointments.
Okay, let's see, board appointments. Let me get to that on my memo. So board appointments, first off, we have Board of Equalization for District 1.
I like time to do it.
Sure, I'll do one at a time.
Do one at a
Yeah,
time?
let's do that.
Manuel Grimes.
Okay.
That's your motion?
My motion is to appoint.
Okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Richard. Okay.
All right, and then moving on to Planning Commission, we have 3 spots. We have 2 for District 2, and then, of course, our District 3 appointment will wait until January and let JR take care of that. But, David?
I do have 2 recommendations for Planning Commission for District 2. And first, I'd like to recommend Bobby Franklin.
All right.
And then, you want to do them one at a time?
Yeah, let's do them one at a time.
Bobby Franklin from Haynesville.
If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Also like to recommend Martell Moore from Haynesville for the Planning Commission.
Okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
David. All right, and then we have a position on our Social Services Board for District 1.
I'd like to recommend Sandra Jackson. That'd be my motion.
Okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good.
And then the other 2 outstanding are District 3, of which Mr. Fiddler will address once he is in place in January.
All right. Monthly appropriations, Richmond County Department of Social Services.
Yes, I have a request for a January 2024 appropriation in the amount of $85,000.
So moved. Okay, thank you. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, monthly appropriation, Richmond County School Board.
Yes, I have a request for a January of 2024 appropriation in the amount of $1,779,003.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Billy. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Monthly supplementals.
Okay, yes, I do have 2 supplementals that are in your binder. First supplemental will be with Ambulance and Rescue Services. This was an amount that was billed to the Little League in the amount of $354 and has since been reimbursed. So we're just wanting to clear that budget line item up.
So moved.
All right, thank you. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
And then the second one that you see in your binder is through Economic Development. This, again, as you've seen in the past, is tourism grant fund money in the amount of $3,540. And it was for purchasing of benches that we will be able to use at our trail once it is finally done. And so those benches have been paid for and delivered, and this is just putting it back in as grant funds.
So moved.
All right, thank you. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Okay.
All right, approval of the November 9th minutes.
Move the minutes be approved as presented.
Okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, other business, Mr. Thomas.
Just wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, congratulate everybody that's had some significant event in their life. And we will see you on the 28th.
Mr. Herbert?
I just want to thank everybody for their support and for all the help. I've enjoyed the time I've spent on this board. It's kind of bittersweet leaving, but the time is right. And I wish JR not only a happy birthday, but years of success.
Mr. Farr?
First of all, thank you, Billy, for all you've done and the examples you've set for us. I guess they've been mostly pretty good. But anyway, but also I've been listening this morning with our social services and with the schools and then some other things the sheriff has talked about the concentration. There seems to be a lot of things directed to our youth and directing them in the right direction. I'm real proud of our county for that. Sheriff Smith talked about our Boys and Girls Club and about how beneficial that's getting to be, which we supported a while back. And listen, and the band is more than just teaching somebody to play an instrument. They're learning discipline and things like that, and accountability, and the social services. That's also good. So that's real good stuff, and I hope it pays off in the future for Richmond County with our youth as they become adults. Thank you.
Mr. Jones?
I want to thank Kathy for making him presentable when he comes up here. And Billy, it's been enjoyable. Y'all be safe over the holidays.
I just want to wish everybody a safe holiday season and hope to see everybody back in January. Kathy, thank you for letting us borrow him for all these days. Hope, do you have anything?
I do not have anything.
Hmm?
I do not have anything further.
All right, while we're waiting on Mitch, JR, if you want to grab a chair and pull yourself up here, we're going to do the organizational meeting, and maybe by that time, Mitch will be here.
Yes, sir.
Pull yourself on right out here in the middle, please. So we can.
I'll get this comfy chair over here.
Yeah, just grab it.
No more.
I'm gonna miss you, Billy.
Yeah.
Aw.
Like a toothache.
All right. First off, we need to elect a chairman for next year.
I'd like to nominate Lee Sanders.
Are there any other nominations? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. We need to elect a vice chairman.
I nominate Richard Thomas.
Okay. If there's no other nominations, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Okay. We need to re-adopt the Richmond County Board of Supervisors bylaws and public hearing procedures. All right, thank you. There's no discussion. All in favor? Aye. Aye. We need to re-adopt the board's monthly meetings. Currently the second Thursday of each month at 9 a.m.
So moved.
All right, thank you. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. All right, authorization to sign county checks. Currently the chairman, vice chairman, treasurer, and county administrator.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Billy. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. We have appointments to the Northern Lake Planning District Commission for next year, and there's currently Ms. Thomas, Ms. Pemberton, myself, Vanilla Gallagher. I believe Hope spoke to Ms. Gallagher, and she is willing to serve again. So,
Rusty's not on, or just the one citizen?
just one, so Rusty was on it for, I can't even remember what he's got.
That's not.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, Northern Lake Planning District Commission Executive Committee. Right now, it's myself and Mr. Thomas is the alternate, and I'm the elected treasurer, so I will stay on that if that's all right with y'all.
Good.
Okay, we need a motion then.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, Northern Lake Regional Jail Representative. That's- I'm sorry, I scratched it off and didn't go over it. Social Services Board, it's currently Mr. Pemberton.
You willing
Basically.
Basically. So moved.
All right, thank you, brother. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. All right, now, Regional Jail Reference, which I'm currently serving. I don't mind re-serving on that. Listen to all the, I won't say it.
And you need an alternate?
I was gonna make two motions.
Oh, okay. So moved.
Okay, thank you. If, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Now, we need to add, we've added an alternate to this position, but we had the occurrence with October that we didn't have a quorum. They've rewritten the bylaws, so now Hope and I can have an alternate, and the sheriff can nominate his own or send his own alternate. So hopefully this won't happen, but we still need somebody that can, and the meeting is this first Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So, JR, if you think you'd be available.
I'll be happy to do it.
Okay.
Good one.
All right.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, brother. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Rappahannock River Basin, Mr. Parr is currently serving that, and Mr. Thomas is his alternate.
So moved.
Okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Richmond County Emergency Services Director, that's usually the chair, so I will stay in that position if it's all right with y'all.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, brother. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Emergency Service Deputy Director, which is the county administrator.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, Richmond County Emergency Services Coordinator, which is the Emergency Services Chief, Mr. Paulette.
So moved.
All right, thank you. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And Richmond County Emergency Services Deputy Coordinator, which is the county administrator.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, does that
Yep. All right.
All right, we're gonna take a short break and see if we can get Mitch straight so we can finish this business. Thank you, JR.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You can stay.
I can probably, I mean, ultimately, we're just needing a public hearing scheduled for January for these EMS rates, if you all are ready for it. But I'm happy to go over the information if he doesn't make it back.
All right, well, we'll take a little break, and if he's not back, then we'll just, let you go on and do it.
That's right.
Okay. All right, and I'm still rolling with, recording, so.
The wood, my brother-in-law has a laser etcher, been doing them for.
That's great. I love that.
And I signed something for them for his clown association, and he copied that off in signature. He does a good job.
That's great.
Oh, good, good. Oh,
Right away. That's not bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. This
Yeah, I'll come.
But I want to surprise it. I don't want them to know.
Like this, yeah, a little deeper. You don't need to.
How are you, sir?
Thank you. I don't agree with what he says. I'm glad you're coming. Last year, I got aware of it. No, that's right.
No way. They should be singing.
Yeah, I would think so.
I would think so. My mistake is what people say. You get them used
I love my.
Welcome on board.
Thank you.
I love
I had this new wallet, and I can't find anything in it.
Just hadn't been broken in.
Just finding where I put stuff.
Commonwealth Gold. This is
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah, you said something about it, that's why I just wanted to see something with it. You try to get some straight for it, just like all the winter, I want to just move up there. Try to get some protein.
Got some good ideas. I talked to you the other day when it works as a woodworking. I really do it.
He does. I did see that. That was awesome. That's a lot of work. I like it. It looks funny.
You know, man, I don't do that. I get good. Like, I don't need that. He's getting paid.
I wouldn't have guessed that. You know, just, I mean, I've known it for years. It's funny.
JR.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a sir, I'm Lee. That's my home email and my cell phone number.
Okay.
If you ever need that.
Thank you. Thank you. I have your cell.
Okay.
I got that from Morgan that one morning. Election day.
But sometimes if you don't want something run through the county, email you.
I think that's.
Well, that's what I'll look into it. I appreciate you.
Because everything we do is foilable.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
I'll give you. Well, hope you have my contact stuff. Okay.
hope you have a Merry Christmas, a blessed Christmas, and a blessed New Year.
The same to you now, Maribel. Thank you.
Merry Christmas and congratulations on you representing me.
Thank you.
You'll see me a lot because I'm here for the town.
I know you are. I know you are. Well, thank you for your support.
No, we just talking community stuff.
Yeah, well, I got to get the board, and I don't want to do too much. Hey, is this a certain section that highlights this?
Well, this basically is the confirmation that, you know, what's in the
Thank you.
fields is certifiable.
Oh.
The other is just like kind of test.
Susan will take advantage of it. We got some, what's it called, poinsettias?
Yeah.
We're just gonna take around to some people from the church and some